Heading into week 15, the semifinals for almost every fantasy league. I'm Dustin, welcome to Fantasy Smack Talk. Hopefully all teams are still in it, competing. This is your week 15 waiver wire, so we got some people that can help you get into that final matchup. Before we get into it, thank you to our sponsor, ProjectorPeople.com. Christmas just around the corner. If you've been thinking about getting someone a projector, helping them out with a man cave or an outdoor theater or anything like that, check out ProjectorPeople.com. All they do is projectors. They're the ones to talk to, certified dealers, and offer lifetime tech support. Click the link in the description to check them out. So for this video, I put them in order on how I would pick them up, take into account 0.5 PPR, and like always, I start with my pickup of the week, the guy that I think is going to get the most attention, and this week it's Jonathan Stewart. You know, I know at this point in his career he's kind of touchdown dependent, but 5 touchdowns in his last 3 games, and it looks like the Panthers are going away from, pushing Cam Newton in there on the goal line. They've just been giving it to Stewart because he's been getting it done. So I think they'll continue to do that. Why bang up Cam if you don't have to? You know, Stewart's been getting the job done. So Jonathan Stewart only on 40% of leagues. Again, I think he will be touchdown dependent, but it's looking more and more likely that he's going to be scoring touchdowns down the stretch. So not hating on Jonathan Stewart. Let's take a look at some other running backs. I want to talk about Kerwin Williams for Arizona. You know, we really don't have much information on the Adrian Peterson injury, and Williams has looked pretty good, only on 15% of leagues. You know, if you're looking for a flex option, I think he does have a high upside if Adrian Peterson continues to miss games. Theo Riddick, I want to talk about, owning 45% of leagues. You know, kind of same deal with Peterson with Amir Abdullah. You know, we don't really have a ton of information on when they're going to be back, and if Abdullah misses again, Riddick is going to be another solid option, especially in PPR leagues. A couple more running backs for you. I do want to talk about Rod Smith. Monster game. You know, obviously a lot of people are going to see his point totals and run and think about picking him up, but let's keep in mind how he got the points. I mean, it was late in the game. You know, Dallas was just kind of running the clock down, and he just ended up, breaking a couple really big plays, was able to get past the defense. So it does show, obviously, that he does have big play potential. But let's not forget Zeke's going to be back week 16, so you get really one chance from Smith week 15. So I just think there's not a ton of upside there. But, obviously he could be, desperation flex play if you're not liking who you have for week 15. And then Gallman for the Giants looked pretty good week 14. Darkwa came in, fumbled the first play, and they pretty much went with Gallman for most of the rest of the game. So I think he could end up carving a role for the last few games. So before we get into wide receivers, shout out to FanDuel, our Week 14 winner. Hell nah, man. Took it down. They're going to win the t-shirt. They win the cash. If you're out of your season-long leagues, get into our FanDuel game. Click on the link in the description. If you haven't signed up for FanDuel yet, do that as well. Deposit $10 or more. You get a free entry into the Sunday Million, which is a $7 entry. So go ahead and check that out. Links in the description. Let's take a look at wide receivers. Robert Woods, he was dropped in a lot of leagues after his injury, but he should be back week 15. Only owning 70% of leagues. We saw what he did when he was healthy. He was really shaping up to be an amazing waiver wire ad, but had the shoulder injury, but looking like he's going to be back week 15. D.D. Westbrook, I've been talking about him last couple of weeks as an ad, only on 35% of leagues. Found the end zone week 14. That Jags offense has really started to look a lot better. They play Houston, and then they're at San Francisco the last 2 games, so I don't mind the Jags offense moving forward. And then Tyler Lockett, only on 40% of leagues. He's been getting it going as of late, and I do think he will be a solid boomer bust guy down the stretch if you're looking for that type of receiver. Few more I do want to talk about. Cole with Jacksonville, same deal with him. He's coming along. Those 2 rookie Jags receivers have really played well. And then Tyrell Williams, only on 40% of leagues. I kind of put him in the same boat as Lockett. Williams has been a disappointment this year, but boomer bust. He's got the big play potential. He's always game for having the potential of a long touchdown. So I do think he's a decent boomer bust option down the stretch. Quarterback, sad day for all Wentz owners. He got you to the playoffs, but now you're going to have to find someone else to try to win that championship. Tough blow. But we got some guys that are worth picking up. Blake Bortles, like I said, that Jags offense has been getting things going. Bortles has looked good. Flacco's looked good. You know, the Ravens' offenses looked like what we thought it was going to be at the beginning of the year, but Flacco was injured, Woodhead got hurt, and you know, it just seems like they're just now starting to get it all put together. And they're at Cleveland week 15, and then they play Indy week 16, so Flacco could be an interesting play down the stretch. And then I did want to talk about Nick Foles. They're at the Giants, and then they play Oakland the last 2 games of the fantasy season. So Foles, there's still a lot of weapons on that offense. He could be serviceable. He's not going to be Carson Wentz, but he could be serviceable the last couple games. Tight end, I want to talk about the first 2 here. Eric Ebron, only on 30% of leagues. Here's another guy that, you know, we were excited about him coming into the year. We thought this might be the year he puts it all together. Hasn't been the case, but he did have a good week 14. You know, maybe they're trying to game plan for him a little bit more. So I do think Ebron needs to be put back on the map. I want to talk about Trey Burton as well with Philly. With Ertz out, Burton took full advantage, had a monster week 14. Obviously, he's going to need Ertz to continue to miss games to have upside, but at least now we know, you know, if Ertz is out, Burton is going to be, you know, probably a top 10 tight end 1 play if Ertz misses time. Some defenses for you. New Orleans only on 40% of leagues. They're going up against the Jets. It's very doubtful that McCown will play that game, so that could be a very good pick up and play defense with New Orleans. And then I got Detroit only on 55% of leagues going up against the Bears. You know, Trubisky's definitely looked a lot better. That Bears offense has looked a lot better, but I still do think there's a chance for some points there with Detroit's defense. So that's week 15. Good luck on the wire. Good luck with all your matchups. If you got questions, post them in this video. Subscribe and like and all that fun stuff.